Okay, in this episode of Mac C++ programming, we are going to be applying all of the knowledge that we have learned about C++ programming thus far to make a program that evaluates or that performs the quadratic equation or the quadratic equation. Yeah, that's what it is. Quadratic equation, quadratic formula, whatever it's called. You know, that negative b plus minus square root a b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I think that's what it is. But to do this, in order to do this, we're going to need to pound and include another file called the math.h file. And I'll show you what that is later. But right now we need to declare an a, b, and a c, and I think we want them to be doubles, so ABC, simple as that. Getting a warning because I haven't used them yet, that's fine. Cout, enter an A number that is not 0. Because in the quadratic equation, A is in the denominator and it's being multiplied by 2. So if it's 0, we're going to get an undefined equation, an undefined function, and it's not going to work. So enter an A, enter a number, I think I want to say, for A that is not 0. Well, first of all, let's do a nice title. So quadratic equation program. New line. Okay. Oops. There. Enter a number for A that is not 0. And then we'll C into A. Okay, and then Cout. Inline, oops. Now enter a number for B. And then Cin for B. And then finally C. And L. Finally, enter a number for C. Cin C. Okay. Now to actually write the quadratic equation function. So I think it's negative. Well, let's hold on. Double result. We're going to store the result of the quadratic equation into a variable, double variable called result. So result is equal to, I want to do this to indicate that it is a fraction. This is the numerator, this is the denominator. So we have negative b plus, and then this is where the square root function comes in. What was it? B squared. So I'm going to do b squared. I think that works. Does that work? Am I getting a warning? Invalid. Binary double and double. Well, hold on, we'll see. Square root b squared minus 4ac, 4bc. I'll do, just to be safe, 4 times a times c. And then, good, that's that one. I think that's the numerator, and then we'll just do 2 times a. And that should give us, but I'm still getting a warning. So let's go to the math.h file. These files, by the way, they're called, what we're including are header files. And header files give us these functions, cout, cin, endl, square root, and they're all defined in these header files. So if I highlight a file and I right click, if it will bring up a menu, right click and I go to jump to definition, And this is the math.h file, so I'm just gonna, this is all a bunch of jargon that you do not need to worry about. So I'm gonna jump down to math functions, and here you can see all the different functions that we can use with when we include the math.h file, and I'm looking for, is this exponential or exponent? Don't know. I think it's exponential. If it's a double. Power function. This is what I want. Okay. So I want pow. I'm going to type that for my power, and then I have square root here, sqrt, followed by parentheses. So I want pow for my power, and I'm going to click back my main.cpp file to go back. And this is not right, so this is going to be pow, and then I'm guessing the base first, so b, comma, and then to the power of 2. That looks like it works. Square root is defined correctly. All right, what's the issue? What's the issue? Is this an extra parentheses? Yeah, it's an extra parentheses. Okay, so that should be one, let's see, positive, and then result. It won't exactly be negative. I don't know why I did that, but you will see. So result, this is, oh my gosh, we added b here. This is actually plus minus. So this is going to be addition, positive, and then result negative. It's going to be the same thing. Going to be the same thing, except we'll be subtracting. Okay, and square root, just making sure everything's correct. So it's going to perform the calculations, and it's going to store when you add negative b to the square root in the numerator into result pos, and then it's going to store the result of negative b minus the square root in the numerator in result neg. Now there could be issues with this. We could get that based on whatever the user inputs, we could get a negative number in the square root, and that wouldn't be good. But I'm just going to input numbers right now that will be positive under the square root, I hope. And then if it doesn't work, the program might crash, but we'll see. So we're going to output all this. When b, value of b, is added to the square root in the numerator, new line, and then you can end it right there. Then we output you get this result pause, and then see out when etc. etc. b is subtracted to the square root of the numerator, new line, you get result neg. Okay, and then and line. All right. This should be our quadratic equation program. It's not perfect, but it will do for now. We're applying really everything we know, and I'm going to run it. Quadratic equation program, enter that is not 0, 2, I don't know, 4, 1. All right, when 4 is added to the square root of the numerator, you get negative 0.292893. Oh, this is bad design. Okay, so let me do an end L. Okay, let me try that again. Wait, what did I put? I put 2, 4, 1. So when 4 is added to the square root in the numerator, we get a negative decimal. Okay, and we can, remember in the last video, we can edit that with the set point, show point, precision, all that good stuff. All right, when 4 is subtracted to the numerator, we get another negative. Okay, all right. So our program seems to be working. I'm not going to check that with my calculator, but I'll just assume that it is correct. Right? Yeah. Do we get negative numbers with this? I think so. Whatever. All right, so this is the very primitive quadratic equation program, just applying all the programming knowledge we have gained about C++, and we will do more of these in the future, so stay tuned.